So the reality of dunya is that at every given moment, there is both good and bad. At every given moment, there is both yusr, ease, and if you're having usr, which is difficulty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us what? Inna ma'al usri yusra. So at the same time that you're going through this difficult time, you're going through this challenge, you also have ease at the same time. Now this is where focus comes in. What do you choose to focus on in any given moment? Because there's both. We've decided as a group, yes? I should have talked about body language, but that's okay. Yes, okay. We decided as a group that life is like a railroad track, right? You have them both parallel. And so if you are in a situation where you're faced with a challenge, you're faced with a difficulty, you're faced with a hardship, at that same time, you're also being given ease and blessings. And so your choice is, which side of the railroad track am I going to focus on? And along with that point is another statement that I want you to take home with you. So these are like, I'm going to leave you with many statements that are going to be take-home messages for you to reflect on and hopefully remember. The next one is that what you focus on grows. So the things that you do choose to focus on will actually become more prominent in your life. And they will become more prominent in your mind. What does that translate to? Here's what it translates to. People who focus on problems will always see problems. People who focus on problems will always see problems. So what happens is, okay, you're a problem solver, right? A problem solver naturally focuses on problems. That's the double-edged sword. And so what happens is you'll focus on a problem and it's all you see. But once that problem has been resolved, what happens next? You find a new problem to focus on and it's all you see. So I don't need to tell you what happens in your life. You're always focused on a problem and it's all you see. And this isn't because your life is all problems. It's because that's what you chose to focus on. And what you focus on grows. And realize that that's a choice you have. That's a mental decision that you're making. Because Allah has given you both. You can't blame Allah. See, we focus on problems. They become so big. They surround us. And then we blame Allah. But Allah gave you both. Allah gave you, yes, you have a challenge, but you have a lot of blessings at the same time, but you're not focusing on them. You don't even see them. And so they become like nothing to you. And instead you're surrounded, and then you become paralyzed by your problem. The Prophet ﷺ said in a Sahih Hadith, عَجَبٌ لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ أَمْرُهُ كُلُّ خَيْرٍ. The matter of a believer is strange. Everything is good for him or her. The matter of a believer is strange. Everything is good for them. And this is only the case for a believer, by the way, the Prophet ﷺ explains. And he says that if there's something that the believer gets that he or she wants, then the believer responds with gratitude, and so it is good for them. And if the believer gets something that they don't want, he or she responds with patience, and so it is good for them. What does this mean? This means that the lens that a believer should be wearing in understanding their life and seeing their life is that it's all good.